Welcome to the Paws Perspective.
The podcast where we help dog owners feel calmer, clearer and more confident by understanding what's really going on behind their dog's behaviour.
We're Pat and Molly from Flying Paws Dog Training, and each episode we break down behaviour, training and real life challenges in a way that actually makes sense.
From puppies and adolescents, breed traits and everyday training struggles, we focus on working with your dog's instincts, not against them.
Whether you're trying to prevent problems before they start or you're feeling stuck and not sure what to do next,
you're in the right place.
So grab a coffee, clip on the lead,
and let's get into today's episode.
Good afternoon, Molly, and how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. What are we going to chit-chat about today?
An interesting topic that it does come up fairly regularly.
More and more?
Yeah, well...
More and more than it once did.
Do you think it comes up more and more than it once did?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it does.
It is...
Was never discussed once upon a time.
Was it taboo? Was it just something that... Well, it didn't exist. It probably didn't exist. Pet insurance. So... Interesting. We both have pet insurance.
We do both have pet insurance. That's an interesting thing in itself.
Murphy doesn't have pet insurance.
Poor Murph.
Poor Murph. Probably by the time I was on the pet insurance bandwagon, he was like, they wouldn't cover him for anything. But I think one of the things which I'll start talking about pet insurance.
Okay.
If we had discussed who was going to go first. I probably wish I had pet insurance with him because he has been slight problem child in his later years with his ears mainly.
Yeah.
There's a fair bit of money spent on those 2 ears. But he also ate a fish hook once, remember? Got that,
yes.
What was a shark hook?
Yes, we do remember that.
On a Sunday.
Yeah.
That was
always
fun.
Good.
That would have been nice to, well, actually I didn't pay for that. Dad felt quite bad because he was the one that left it out, so he paid for it. But, and that wasn't even, he didn't even have to have anything. It was just because it was a shark line. The hook was probably, what's that, about 10 centimetres?
Yeah, something like that.
And it was thick and we just couldn't cut it and rang the vet thinking, he's going to have to split his lip.
Yeah.
And I think Michael was thinking, I'm going to have to split his lip as we went up there. And we got up there and Michael went, actually, I've got this thing that cuts. It must be like if they do, because they're a rural vet, if they cut, they put like a bolt or something in a cow's leg or a horse's leg,
cut it off.
They cut part of it off. Well, he went and got that, and literally it was like out within 2 seconds. The best thing, my favourite thing about that story.
What?
So this is Michael who owns the Sheffield vet. Well, his dad was a vet, and he was there because he must have been at Michael's house. It was a Sunday and came over, and my dad knows Jim, and Jim likes a chat, doesn't he?
He does.
And they were chatting, and Jim said to Michael, "Do you want me to help you hold him?" He's like, I think looking at him, he's big dog, like, about what you're doing. Jim's like, Michael, who knew Murphy, he's like, no, it's all right. And Jim's like, I can do it. Like, I'm not that old. He's like, no, Dad, it's fine. It's fine. He said, Molly will just like hold his head. And he was I think he was looking at me thinking she's not holding his head. What the hell's going on? Murph just sat there, snip, out it came. And Jim was like, I've never seen that. I've never seen that in a big dog like that. Just sit there and no one has to hold him. And it's like, yeah.
Pretty good.
He was pretty good like that. But, yeah, so this is not about how Murphy didn't have pet insurance. Fox came with pet insurance.
Yeah.
I got 2 months free, which I think a lot more breeders.
That's pretty good from a breeder.
Yeah. A lot more are doing now because they, I think there's obviously incentive programs and things that if you sign on and blah, blah, blah. But there was a period where I let that lapse. I was like, I don't need pet insurance. What do I need pet insurance for? And then I changed my insurance. My health and car insurance, and there was a offer for pet insurance, and I looked into it and I thought, yeah, I think I'm going to actually do this. It was mainly just an accidentals cover. It really wasn't that much a month. I was like, yep, cool. And I can remember coming to you when I got it last year and said, I've got Fox pet insurance, and I think you might have been thinking, why have you done that? Were you?
Oh, probably. I'd never had it, never worried about it.
But it has been very good in the last little while. I actually only found out today that if we get to a point where we think we need x-rays for what is going on, they're going to cover a fair chunk of it,
which is always good.
which is very good. So I personally don't think I will be without pet insurance now.
So when you get your next little puppy dog, do you reckon you'll get pet insurance straight away as a pup?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, I'd probably look for, it would be a big tick for me if the breeder did what Fox's breeder did.
Yep.
And I'm saying what Fox's breeder did because I probably won't get another Border Collie. If I decided I want another Border Collie and she was still breeding, I would go back to her.
Yep.
But I think otherwise I would still, I think right from very little. And I think, pups do some really dumb things.
Yeah.
And for me, especially knowing that I think I had 3 months free pet insurance with Fox.
Yep.
2 months, 3 months, something like that. Knowing that, especially in that baby period, if he did something stupid,
you were covered.
He was covered. And actually one of his siblings. Was it somebody else that told me that had free pet insurance? It was a client that had free pet insurance on their cavoodle, and it had an accident, and everything was covered.
Yeah, that's all right.
Pretty much. So you can't remember who I'm talking about. But I think for me it's worth it.
Yeah, well, you don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I think the thing is you don't know them yet.
No,
you
that's
don't.
true.
They probably don't know themselves yet either. They're sort of developing a personality. But
Yep.
I think obviously the biggest thing is not to give a pup too much freedom in those early days. So months. So things don't happen, but accidents do happen.
Oh, still happen. Yeah, of course they do.
We watched Fox. How old would he have been? 11 weeks old. On the camera, scale out of a puppy pen when no one was home.
Yeah.
Luckily, he scaled out of the puppy pen onto the couch and then down onto the ground. But how high are those pens that I've got of yours? 800 or something?
Yeah, 800 or 900, something like that.
So a bit shy of a metre. And he scrambled up that and over onto the other side. Like, that could have ended.
Oh, disastrously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all of these sorts of things are, I think, for me more and more, a big thing.
And look, some of the surgeries that, dogs might have to have over the years, especially like if we talk about cruciates and those sorts of things, they're in the thousands.
Yeah, and I think that was, again, for me, one of the biggest things. Foxy's covered, I think, up to about $7,000 a leg for certain hip, and cruciate is part of his cover. And that was the cruciate especially was a big thing for me because I have gone through
that before.
I didn't have to pay for it because it was a family dog, but 7 years ago, God, I can't remember how long it was that Dudley had it. It was only like $800 a leg for a small dog. That now you would be looking at
now.
a couple of thousand.
Oh, yeah.
So, just the way pricing has gone, and that's not the vet's fault, that's just the way everything. The world is.
Yeah.
For me, having that peace of mind is worth it. But you have never had pet insurance. You're like old now and you've never had pet insurance with all your other dogs?
Yep, never had it. Never even thought about it.
So what made you get pet insurance for Zanny only about 9 to 10 months ago?
Yeah, I think it was the when I started noticing him have some changes and I wasn't quite sure what was going on. And I guess we had a bit of I don't know, we must have been having a bit of a chat about it or something, and I just thought maybe I should just get it because I didn't know what the future might hold.
I think the conversation that you are referring to, what I remember of it was I think a big deciding factor, and you can tell me obviously if you think I am wrong, but they do not cover things over a certain age.
No,
or
that's
premiums
right.
get more expensive,
yeah.
Or things are not are classed as pre-existing, whether they are or not, because they are an age-related thing.
Yeah.
And Zan was very close to that cutoff. And I think that was probably, along with everything else, what made you.
Yeah, well, it was like you're going to do it, you're going to do it now.
Yeah.
So obviously my premiums were more expensive than yours because of his age when I was starting. Look, and then with the couple of things that he's had, they've been really good. They've covered a fair whack of it.
Yeah. So this is his tooth and his X-rays.
And his X-rays.
And you got like 80% back of your X-rays.
Yeah, I did. Got a lot back. So, all in all, like with our short little trial with pet insurance, it's been really good.
So
quite valuable.
So the interesting question, I suppose, now comes: when you get a pup, will you be getting pet insurance?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We discussed this earlier in the day, and I said, yeah, no, but probably I would.
Yeah.
I was lucky with Zan. They sent off, their little questionnaire to the vets and that, and he didn't really actually have anything previous, so he was all clear and pretty good for any pre-existing things, which I was lucky about.
Yeah.
But if I tried to get it now, now we've got pre-existing dicky legs and things like that. So,
dicky legs.
I think nowadays and I guess it's a bit, how much money you pay for a pup now, but also how much things are. I think it's a good investment.
I think the price of dogs is very interesting because I'm happy to talk about money, but I don't know if you are. But
depends what we're talking about.
Zanny's the most expensive dog you've ever bought.
By a long shot.
Technically, Fox is the only dog I've ever bought. Technically, on a technicality, because Murph was a birthday present. But again, by a long shot. So Fox was $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I think moving forward, so realistically, dogs are probably not going to get cheaper.
No.
And I think I would like to know that, like, you are investing in a dog.
Oh, yeah, you are.
And knowing that there's insurance on that investment for me,
peace of mind.
It is peace of mind. Yeah.
And also, if you've just, saved up and then spent a heap of money on a dog, if something does happen, you mightn't have access to, those funds again because you've spent them on the dog. So having pet insurance there to help you out is definitely a benefit.
I think one of the arguments against pet insurance is people say, well, you should put that money away and you've got it. But
it's like human insurance.
It is. I was about to say, like,
people say the same thing for that as well.
You can be and that's not a bad option. Like, we should state that. But if you, for whatever reason, need that money for something else,
it's there. So a lot of people, some people can keep it aside and not use it. But there's a lot of people that can't.
But even not just use it, if you need it for an emergency for something else, if you need to dip into that, like
it's there. So you might need to dip into it. I think just having a little bit, like our personal insurance, if you've got private health cover or whatever, just putting a little bit away each week, and just knowing that if something does happen, you are able to get it done. And it's a bit like us. If you've got something wrong and it's painful until you get it fixed, it's the same with our dogs. If they're in pain and they need something done, and you've got to say, well, just hang on, I've got to save up the money. I can't get it done for another 6 months. That's 6 months that your dog's got to live in pain with as well.
I think the other thing that probably I haven't mentioned for me, and I think it was the biggest factor, was, and this is not specifically because I live rurally, but I do live rurally, and it was heading into the time of year where snakes were probably starting to come out of hibernation. And when I looked into pet insurance and saw that for the cover I've got anyway, that was one of the things that was covered.
Yep.
That was something, and I thought, I don't want the difference to be whether I can afford it or not.
Yeah, definitely.
Or if I can spend a little bit of money a month and know that that's, so I think I've got things, I did go on accidentals as a main one, Interestingly, I went as accidentals for a main one because I thought he's a young dog. He just doesn't need any problems. So it was things like motor vehicle accidents, snake bites, car accidents. If he gets injured in a car accident or gets hit by a car, which I don't. He seems very like, oh, just move out of the way of cars. But it's good to know all of
just in
these things are
case.
covered because obviously accidents do happen. But in saying all of that, I've just sent off the quote I got for if Fox does need an X-ray with everything that's been going on with him, and that's covered.
Yep.
So
you got pre-approval on that.
Pre-approval for what the vets have quoted me for that as the upper
which
level.
Is good.
Which it is good. And I think these are all the things that, I didn't even think to send it off for pre-approval until you sent yours off as to get it back. And I thought, well, hang on, why am I not just seeing if they'll cover it?
Yeah.
And so far I've had no problems.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. But I think one question we do get asked with pet insurance is, who would we recommend? There's
a lot of different ones.
There are a lot of different ones. There is a company that we do have, I should say, an affiliate program with. However, we cannot recommend companies. That's part of insurance law. But I think what we do tell everybody is go and do your research.
Yeah.
And even just do your research on what is going to be covered for your breed.
Yeah.
Because, again, a conversation we were having at the weekend with someone with a British Bulldog is premiums can be more expensive for them purely because if they've got to go under anaesthetic, there's problems with brachy breeds. Certain breeds that Dachshunds probably are one that are subject to IVDD are going to potentially have higher premiums. So all of these sorts of things. But these are also the reasons I think, not that I'm necessarily planning on getting a Bulldog or a Dachshund for any particular reason, but if you're looking at some of these breeds, having it from a pup.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The pet insurance. So things can't be classed as pre-existing.
Yeah.
Is a really big thing.
Oh, definitely.
But comparing them, looking at the terms and conditions, looking at, I think we can get very stuck on price, which obviously is a big factor.
But what's covered?
I mean, realistically, you pay a lot more than I do a month.
Yep.
A lot. I'm going to say a lot more. I think you pay more than double what I pay a month.
Yeah, I think so.
But we're looking at a 2-year-old versus an 8-year-old dog.
Yep.
So, all of these sorts of things. But, is there anything else you want to add on?
No, I think it's just, have a bit of a look around, give them a ring, send them an email, ask a few questions. Do they cover different things? And probably get it when they're a pup, because
you've changed your tune to a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, Fox is a classic example that you wouldn't think that you should have any problems, but you just never know.
Well-bred, purebred dog, and I think this is something that we were talking about
earlier.
Earlier is that you can get sucked into, and I'm not saying there is nothing wrong with his breeding. And I should point all that out to start with. All of his issues are just things that his breeder, me, vets, no one was going to pick up.
No.
But we can sort of, I'm not going to say get sucked in because that doesn't sound very nice, but we can think, because they're a purebred dog, because their parents have papers, because they've come from a registered breeder, that things not going to have any problems.
And we know others that have come from that sort of a area as well that have had problems.
And it's just shit luck.
Yeah, it is.
We're swearing a bit in this podcast. You've said shit, I've said shit.
No, I wouldn't have said that.
You said it right at the start. It is just genetic, the luck of the genetic draw sometimes. That, you can have all ticks and balances and boxes. And I looked over his paperwork. Told you I was going to do that the other day. His hip score is perfect. So it's not his hips, and we've had that checked again. It's not his hips, but I shouldn't say it's not his hips. It's not hip dysplasia, which was one of the things people were concerned about right at the start and scared the absolute crap out of me. But, you can have these things and still have, like Zan, he doesn't have hip dysplasia, but he's got a hip problem with his
Hip
ligament.
flexor.
His,
Yep.
yeah, muscles and ligaments. So, you know, this is where you don't
You
know.
just don't know what's going to happen.
And again, this is not bagging up breeders, but it's just saying that you don't know what life's going to throw at you.
Oh no! Look, they could jump off something and jump off the veranda and hurt
Get hit
themselves.
by a car.
Yeah,
They
well,
could,
hope not.
you
But
know.
yeah,
Actually, do you know foxes? I think even covered for like drowning related incidents,
oh god.
which is, you know, surprised me slightly.
Hmm.
Actually, I've just got a message from my pet insurance. It's
There you
funny,
go.
isn't it? You know, all of these sorts of things that are just accidents, and that's why I went with the accidental cover, because it's like he at the time was an 18-month-old boy
Yeah.
that, like, I still don't think he's 100% like makes the best decisions sometimes. Not necessarily like good versus bad decisions. Like, he just does dumb stuff. And then he looks at you like, that wasn't smart. And it's like, no, it wasn't, kid. What'd you do that for?
But yeah, no.
You probably didn't have that problem with old Einstein down there.
Who me? You just said. Yeah. So I think it is definitely nowadays. There's a lot more companies that do it. So have a shop around, have a look, have a chat to some of them, send them some emails, see which one suits your type of breed.
And even, like I said, I wouldn't have even thought about it if when I moved my car and my health insurance to be one, and it was there, they offered, I did shop around before I 100% went with them, but they offered a discount because I was
Already.
with them. Discount, not a free couple of months discount. That I was like, yep, that's, you know, sometimes looking at your own insurances and what you've got.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of the insurances do it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, and some of the supermarkets, etc. So there's heaps out there. So
Yeah.
it's definitely worth having a bit of a look at.
Yeah.
Spending a little bit of time on, sending a couple of emails off, and see what you think.
And I mean, worst case, you never use it.
Well, that's it.
Best case,
It's there.
you're saving yourself some money, which is like, wouldn't it be nice to be the person that invented insurance?
Yeah.
Like, they must be rich.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably dead now, but like, they must be rich.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea.
It's the biggest, in a lot of ways, it's the biggest scam of the 21st century. But you wouldn't be without a lot of it.
Oh, no,
so, you know.
No. It's a scam until you need it, and then
Exactly.
it's like, then it's there. So yeah, it's very helpful. Just like us.
Yep.
Awesome. Alrighty. So don't forget, shoot us a follow. Give us a 5-star review if you've enjoyed this or any of our other podcasts. That'll get us out to many more people around the world. And we will definitely see you in the next one.
We will.
Bye.